Right, okay, so, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Alright, let's say this. Why are you wearing pyjamas, by the way?
I'm not wearing pajamas. It's a top.
You go
It's
out
not.
like that, do you?
I mean, I haven't worn it out yet. It only arrived yesterday, so. But
Yeah.
now that you've said that, I'm never going to wear it out ever.
Okay, sorry.
And that makes me really sad because I only own 2 dinosaur t-shirts and, tops, and this is one of them. And the other one, oh my god, it's amazing, right? It's a T-Rex. It looks exactly like that one, but happier, right? And it says underneath it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your... Oh.
Hello and welcome all into the MO podcast. As always, you're here with me, Contumacia Sam.
And me, Atreya.
And today we are going to be talking about zombies.
Yes! Get in! I love it. Something I can relate to. Being surrounded by brain dead people.
True. I agree wholeheartedly. Now, I posted that video in the Discord about you get animal zombies, like insect zombies, let's say, and some of these are infected by a fungus or a parasite that takes over their body and makes them do some kind of things. It's usually ants or cicadas or spiders or some such things like that. But today it's an actual human that may have been turned into a zombie. Now, his name was Clairvius Narcisse, and he was from the country of Haiti.
I knew you were going to say that. I was just about to say, is this a Haitian zombie or a real zombie?
So, Haitians are the real deal with the zombies.
I'm not going to need B&M's protection from a Haitian zombie.
Now, gonna say this up front, full disclosure on this, because even though this has been reported by a well-respected anthropologist who was called Dr. Wade Davis, and it been reported in the Harvard magazine, I think a lot of artistic license has been taken on with this over the years. I mean, it's even been made into a film. So we all know, if you're playing MO Podcast Bingo, that Atreya's never seen a film. But this one she may have seen.
Seen a lot of zombie films.
It was by Wes Craven.
I might not have seen this zombie film.
Okay, there you go. Called...
What's it called?
The Serpent and the Rainbow.
No.
Okay.
More of a Romero girl. What can I say?
Yeah. I don't actually think he looked in Harvard magazines for inspiration, Romero, but
it's probably why he always made great movies.
Could be. True to life.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1980, a man approached Angelina Narcisse at a marketplace in the village of Lescher, Haiti. Now, speaking with Angelina, he claimed he recognised her as a sister. Now, Angelina dismissed him as being mistaken because she'd buried her own brother 18 years ago. But before she had a chance to walk away, as you do, them nutters that come up to you and start chatting to you and they think they know you, she didn't have a chance to walk away. But Clairvius actually named some of her family members, and he gave intimate details which only they would have known as children growing up. He also told her his childhood nickname. Now, Clairvius had been declared dead in 1962, and he'd been buried a day after the declaration of his death. So, as you may or may not know, Haitians are big in their voodoo. Now, this sprang up in the 16th century. This was due to the influx of African slaves who brought their beliefs and traditions from Africa, and it was kind of mixed in with the already existing Roman Catholic faith that was there because it'd been colonized by the Spanish. They were mad Catholics, so it kind of interwove with that. Now, voodoo is probably one of the most misunderstood religions out there. I think it's pretty cool, to be quite honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But most Western / Christian cultures just see it as witchcraft, and it's just filled with sorcery. So it's kind of dismissed straight away. I
don't think the movie industry does it any favours, really, though, does it?
No, of course. And I mean, we're talking about zombies, so I don't think we're going to help propel it into the mainstream here. But, so, as with all religions, there's some bad eggs. Catholic Church.
See previous episode for details.
Yes, indeed. You will be having a banner coming up in the top about all the times we've talked about the Catholic religion. It may go on for hours. But voodoo isn't any different. So within voodoo, you have, I'm not going to say witchcraft because that's just kind of a relic, but you have healers within their faith that take what they can get from the land and they heal your illnesses if you've got them. But like there's good doctors and there's bad doctors. Clairvius seemed to have run into a bad doctor during his time with voodoo. So in
understatement.
In 1962, in the year that he died, there's a lot of rumours out there. So, like I say, there's nothing that you can actually pin down as to why he was pinpointed to be turned into a zombie. But some of the reasons that are given, that he abandoned his children, so his wife was slighted. She hired a witch doctor to take out her anger on him. He may have fell out with his brother over a land dispute, or it could have been just plain bad luck. But hospital records do show on the 30th of April 1962, Narcisse turned up in the emergency room and he was coughing blood. The doctors couldn't diagnose his illness, and while he was there, he steadily deteriorated. 3 days after he was admitted, he died. Now, you could just kind of turn around and go, no disrespect, but it's Haiti. You know, doctors may not have been that educated. No disrespect, and I'm not doing anyone down by that.
Not the greatest in advanced medical studies.
Exactly, and in 1962, it may have been further back than most places. But there was 2 doctors that signed off on his death certificate, and one was American that was doing his residency at this hospital. So, I'm not saying that gives credence to this story, but he was only doing his residency, so he's only just passed out of college and he's got another few years to go. But maybe it holds a little bit of weight.
It certainly makes the rest of his medical career when he moved back to the States slightly worrying.
Well, yeah, indeed. If you got treated by this doctor, then you wouldn't be getting a prostate exam off him. I'll just put it that way. So, Narcisse was stored in cold storage overnight, and he was buried the next day. Now, During his subsequent conversations, he's described this ordeal about what happened. So he's told the anthropologist Wade Davis. He's actually had a conversation with him, an interview with him, and he explained how he could see his sister was crying at the side of his bed when he was declared dead. He couldn't move. He couldn't articulate anything. He was in a waking coma, basically. So he recalled how the sheet was pulled up over his face and how he was placed into cold storage. The next day, he recalls how he was placed into the coffin and he was lowered into the ground.
Is that not pretty... It's all pretty standard procedure? You don't have to really have had it happen to you to go, yeah, no, I felt them pull the sheet over my head and then I felt myself going into a coffin and then being buried. I mean, it goes without saying, you know you're not cremated because you're still whole. Yeah. So you just kind of put the rest of the pieces together in what is standard procedure, right?
Exactly. And I mean, anyone could say that. Now, what makes this one different, or what makes Clairvius different, is that he had a scar on his cheek. And he claimed he got that scar because when they were hammering the coffin lid in, one of the nails skewed out of the wood and caught him in the cheek.
Could he not have had that scar beforehand, though?
It's a little bit on the money, that, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I mean, he could have got that just any time.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit on the nose, but all this kind of adds to it. And like I say, this was he's speaking to a famous anthropologist, Wade Davis here, and this is the person that has catalogued all of this. So it's not me. I'm not saying I believe it or I don't believe it, but speak to Wade Davis. So he was lowered into the ground, and the next thing he remembers was having the coffin lid opened. He was dragged out and he was beaten by several men. One of these men was a bloke who was a voodoo sorcerer. Yeah.
Why would they beat him up? He's already had a rough day. He's not going anywhere.
So
it's kind of like, oh, what year is it?
So
and then getting that's like keying your own car.
Exactly, and I mean, I think just keep an open mind. So basically, he then claimed that he was given what has been called the zombie cucumber. No, not like that. I should have worded that better.
Familiar with the zombie cucumber? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fuck it hell. Okay.
This is why I don't eat gherkins. Okay.
Yeah. He was
true story.
Beaten by several men and given the zombie cucumber. That's a bad night out, isn't it? But apparently, the zombie cucumber is the psychoactive plant that is the Torah. So this plant looks like a cucumber, I hope, or else they've just got that word from nowhere. And it's a psychoactive drug, and it's one of the worst hallucinogens out there. Now, just for let's go into another story now. But there is a infamous the Torah story from Reddit. So basically, I know, but some people have covered this. The internet investigators covered this, and some.
You slag off my tinfoil hat,
okay,
and then you give us Reddit.
I know, but basically, so a poster asks in r/drugs, what's the best dose of the Torah for a good high? people tell him, don't do it because it's going to ruin your life. So he crushes 15 seeds, adds them to some tea while smoking a joint made out of the leaves. People are trying to speak to him, saying, what's happening, how are you feeling? He doesn't answer. He goes dark. Now, the next post he makes is, and I quote, this is on Reddit. He types into Reddit this, google.com, how normal again, stop now.
So he's off his tits.
He's either off his tits or he's playing a long game with this trolling. So people reply to him saying, oh my God, are you okay? We know you from the r/drugs, what's going on? And he doesn't reply. A few more hours later, the poster makes a comment in r/gaming while watching a couple of mammoths fight in totally accurate battle simulator, which reads, please, these big dog are fighting. Now okay.
So this just sounds like just a regular high dude.
Yeah. After this, he does go dark and no one hears from him again. But that is most of the stories with Reddit and trolls and all accounts. So
that just genuinely just sounds like somebody's like off the tits high.
Yeah. But basically, the Torah is kind of, it keeps you in a psychedelic state. So, Narcisse was then kept as a slave. He was given the Torah every few days just to keep him there, working, not thinking about anything else. He was beaten and he was told to work on whatever he was doing. He was working on a plantation at this point, and apparently he was with other zombies.
If you were, like, drugged and high to the point where you weren't going to run away because you weren't really sure what was going on, would you be able to function enough to work a plantation? Or would you just be like, hit me some more, bro, I'm invincible, check me out, look, I go green if I do that, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry? Like,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think there's more drugs that keep you compliant than a hallucinogen, to be quite honest with you.
That was my thought, yeah.
You'd keep them on, like, downers and use psychologicals. Like, you wouldn't use it.
Or, like, you know, make him into an addict and then kind of go, yeah, we'll give you more drugs, but I want this whole field sorting first. Like, is that not kind of...
Exactly.
I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a good game plan to me.
There's easy ways to do it, but the reason why Wade Davis thought this was quite believable for him is because he saw there's like fields and fields of the Torah that grow in Haiti. So it's an easy, accessible drug. You don't need to do much to it to kind of... you don't need to synthesize it. You don't need to Breaking Bad the shit. You can just boil it up, give it to people, and then off you go. So it's easily accessible. It's quite easy. It's there in the field. But I agree. If you're high as fuck on a hallucinogen and you're seeing mammoths fighting... It's not the drug for getting work done, is it?
No, I mean, do you remember that story about that man that, I don't know whether it was spice or bath salts, or it was on the news, and he went totally like nuts, stripped like bollock naked, and then went and ripped that homeless guy's face off and started eating him. That's the kind of shit you would expect to happen from a hallucinogenic, right?
Well, there goes a fucking dark episode.
I mean...
But yeah, no. I do.
Still
I do
pretty
know.
traumatized.
I know, he ate his face off.
It was horrific, right?
Yeah, and he thought he stole his Bible, of all things, to eat someone's face off.
Yeah, I know, right? I'd be like, keep it. Thanks, you've done me a favour.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus doesn't preach that.
You know it's all bullshit, right? You
Yeah.
can keep it. I've just picked up the latest Cosmo.
got hello, I'm fine. So basically, this is what Narcisse says that kept him working on this plantation. Now, for me, if none of that, what I've said previously, makes this argument fall down, this is kind of where it falls down, because he was kept there for 2 years until the owner died and the slaves were freed, because they weren't getting their drugs every other day, so they all were freed. Yet it took him another 16 years to go back to his village.
What was he doing?
Yeah, this is the thing. And I mean, if we do go back to the thing of how he was mistreating his kids, or he wasn't looking after his kids properly, if you go, when he arrived back there, his kids were 18, so he didn't have to pay child support for them.
Yeah.
Maybe this was just kind of a well thought out plan.
It's a really, really big push of a plan. I mean, there's other, he could have, I mean, I guess he did fake his own death then if that's the case, but there's easier ways than pretending you've been turned into a zombie for 18 years.
Yeah, just do a Reggie Perrin. I mean, how many times do I have to say it? Just go for a swim in the sea naked and then just come up somewhere else. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, surely even his wife was just kind of like, are you having me on? What? What part of that story did you think that I would believe? Like, what the fuck? No, you now owe me 18 years worth of child maintenance, so pay up.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, it's easy for us to say this in the Western world, where maybe for us, we don't believe, we're atheists, we don't believe in religion and stuff, but it is...
And we don't get turned into zombies very often.
It is quite popular over there. Now...
Unless we work a desk job.
Yeah. So... So, Wade Davis has speculated that Narcisse was drugged with a mixture of tetrodotoxin, which is basically pufferfish venom, and bufotoxin, which is a toad venom, which can induce a coma that slowed his metabolism down so much that it mimicked death-like status that professional doctors didn't know.
I mean, he would still have a pulse, right? It would just be really faint. I mean, I guess in the 60s.
Exactly. And I mean, to be fair, these doctors, whether they be it from America or from Haiti, they've got Torah to go and do, like, after their shift. You know what I mean? They're like, right, fuck this. I'll give him 10 seconds.
How did they dose him up with the stuff in the first place to kind of make him go into the fake death?
So basically, they think that someone was employed, whether it be his brother or his wife or whatever, was employed to give it him in tea. Like, every time they made a tea, they'd make him a special one. Like, that's why you got to keep your drinks covered when you're out, or when you're at home. You've got a mental person that you live with.
I just normally put salt in people's tea that I don't like, rather than sugar. And I figured, like, what they're gonna do? Arrest me? It's not very nice, and it's definitely not very nice for the person who's drinking the tea. But no one's gonna kill me over it. Well, I hope not.
Well, wait until you listen to the Dark episode.
Oh, God.
So, Wade Davis went on to do massive research into zombification while in Haiti. Now, this is kind of where it unravels massively. Davis managed to get an introduction to bloke, which is a voodoo witch doctor, by a BBC journalist, no less.
Wow, the BBC have some connections.
Yeah. And by way of coercion, Davis basically told this Bocker that a pharmaceutical company was interested in his pharmaceuticals that he could make, and if they could provide different health benefits that the American pharmaceuticals companies could offer, then they would snap it up. No questions asked.
In the hope that this witch doctor would tell him the secret to making zombies?
Basically. He basically went to a witch doctor and went, I'll give you a shitload of money and we can market this. It'd be brilliant.
But surely even the witch doctor would go, I've got skin creams coming out my arse that I'll sell you the patents for. No probs at all. That's all I've got. And then the guy would be like, yeah, you got anything for like, zombies or something? Like, nope. Definitely, I don't know where you would get that idea from. Why would I know how to do that? I'm just a simple witch doctor.
Just like that, yeah. The Department of Defense have been on the phone. They need a shitload of zombies. Can you help me out? No.
You just wouldn't, would you?
No. This isn't a joke. This is my job, mate. Like, I'm a fucking witch doctor. Am I a joke to you? Fucking hell.
Oh, God.
Not making fun of witch doctors. Please don't curse us.
No, but it's like, it's the equivalent of like walking into an airport with one of them, bombs with the wires coming out of it, ticking in your backpack and checking in under the name Terry Wrist.
Yeah. You
just wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Are you willing to sell out hundreds of years of your religion just for a bit of greed, mate? Yeah.
And potentially, like, go to jail or get in a lot of trouble for doing nefarious things that really you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
No, I've got the greatest hemorrhoid cream in the world. Here you go. Jog on.
Yeah. Apparently, though, this man who was Marcel Pierre, he was very swayed by this argument. So he also owned a local bar. So he had to have a side hustle because obviously the witch doctrine weren't doing him that much good. So he had to be selling a Stella on the side and his tapas. He needed that.
This just gets better.
And Davis spent a day with him gathering herbs and other ingredients for this magical potion.
The magical zombie potion.
Yeah. But somehow, even though Davis was picking these, he knew he was being duped. Don't know how he had more knowledge than this witch doctor at this point.
Do you think he just is saying, I knew that I was being duped? Like, no, you didn't. You didn't till it was too late, mate. You had no fucking clue.
Yeah. So, 3 weeks later, after having this potion, basically Davis called Pierre out as a charlatan. At the bar, obviously. In front of 3 of his drinking buddies. And
what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Now, in a rage, the priest, Pierre, gave him a potion and said, if you don't think that works, this'll work. Which was quite convenient that he had it with him.
Just on him.
Yeah. He didn't even need to go into the back to mix some eyes of new or shit. He just went, right, fucking, alright, I was having you on, but this'll work.
I mean, it might have been just liquid Viagra or something that he just keeps on him at all times, just in case.
Well,
you just never know.
Well, now you say that, Davis pretended to rub it into his skin. And Pierre went, oh, you're going to die. Oh, now you're dead. You're a dead man. Davis didn't die. So Pierre went, oh, fucking hell. I like you. You're quite funny. I'm going to make you a real zombie potion. Obviously.
You're the only one I've ever come across that's immune. It's a miracle.
You're the only one that's ever called my bluff on that. Fucking hell. I've sold thousands of these and you're the only one that's ever done it in front of me. Fuck me. So basically, Pierre turned around and went, right, I'll make you the real one now. So, this new and improved potion contained parts of tarantulas, lizards, toads, sea worms, and human bones.
Ooh.
Now, the reason that Davis knows that it had human bones in it is because he went grave robbing with Pierre.
That's gross.
I mean, not such a great thing to be admitting to if you're a scholar. You're supposed to be
in the paper.
Exactly, a Harvard anthropologist, and he's going, "Yeah, I went grave robbing." Do you know what's worse?
Sure, he's a Harvard professor.
Do you know what's worse? It was from a baby's grave. Yeah, I don't think he is a Harvard scholar. Or if he is...
I think he's a YouTuber.
In 1962, their standards were so fucking low that they just take anyone. Because, like, even Burke and Hare didn't admit fucking that.
I know, but, like, couldn't you just say you were a Harvard professor? I could go around and say, like, people who don't know me, like, you know, I'm in a bar in somewhere posh or something. They'd be like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" I'd say, "I'm a Harvard professor." Oh, what in? The theory of quantum physics, actually. But you wouldn't understand. It's far too complicated for you, trust me. And who are they going to say? How can I disprove it? How can I?
I'll give Wade Davis some credit. To be honest with you, why he was there is that his professor that taught him had studied or had been in Haiti for many years, and he kind of turned him on to this kind of the voodoo zombification kind of thing. So this was before 1962, so it was even worse. So it's kind of going up, but not much. The standards of teaching.
What if the professor's professor wasn't even a professor?
Well, exactly. I mean, we get
just some bloke situation down the pub.
Yeah, he could have just made all this fucking up. I mean, to be honest with you, it sounds like he did. But so this second potion that he had was apparently the real deal. Now, you have to ask, if it was the real deal, how does Davis know it is? Has he actually used
he
it
would be a zombie
on someone? He just got one of his grad students, put an advert in the back of the Harvard fucking Times, go, "I need a grad student. $1,000, no question asked."
I would do it.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Most students would.
Yeah, but it's not like wanking in a cup, is it? It's like...
I can't do that, so that would never have been an option for me to make money.
I mean, you could, but then we'd be talking about, like, some kind of different shows, and it'd be in Tijuana, no doubt.
I could fart in a jar and sell it. I just don't think that students are paid well for that kind of thing.
Exactly. Well, bathwater. Coming soon to our Patreon.
No one wants to buy your bathwater, Ant.
I ain't got a bath, so it'd have to be shower water.
That's just ordinary water.
Oh, no, it's not. Not the way I use the shower. It goes right up.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well, now I'll need to burn my eyes out.
Yeah. So, I mean, unbelievably, Davis' research has been called into question by a few of his peers.
No.
Yeah. I mean, some people have said that it may be simply bad science. Other people have called it an issue of fraud in science. Because Davis never published all his data. He withheld negative data, obviously, and only published the bits that made him look good.
Sounds like David Icke.
Yeah. So he's to be honest with you, I wouldn't 100% believe this. and actually talking through it, it's not really believable at all.
And it took me to point that out to you. This is where I have the issue.
Full disclosure, I did write this when I was on holiday in Amsterdam. So...
Oh, that explains a lot.
The issues of...
While you were there, it sounded so true. Everything was just like, my mind is blown. This is all true. Wait till she hears about this and how zombies can really be created.
Yeah, I mean, I did kind of think. But then you can create zombies and zombies. You get that kind of shit. And they're controlled by other things, so maybe.
Yeah, but they're kind of zombies in the... Like, what insect is it that... Yeah, they kind of basically cut the other insect's, like, skull open and, like, basically manipulate their brain into making them move and just kind of ride them around as, like, little mounts or something, I guess. Like,
yeah, but
that's still not technically a zombie,
but they don't have any control over their own body.
I know, but when I think of zombie, I think of the undead. I don't think of, like...
So it doesn't have any control over its own body?
Yeah, but something that has died, not something that is living and is being manipulated by somebody else. Something that is physically dead, and then it came back to life, but is still dead.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of thing.
Okay, maybe.
It moves, but it's still dead.
Okay. But then, if you're not living your own life, like, if you don't have control over your own body, would you not say you were dead anyway?
I mean, if you want to get theoretical...
I'm just saying, like, I'd say when does it start and when does it begin? Like, if once you stop controlling your own actions, devil made me do it.
Well, I just think...
I'll tell you that.
I just think when you're like, I've really got a hankering for brains right now, that's, for me, that's zombie.
Okay. Yes, it is and it isn't. But if you're doing something at somebody else's bidding without control over your own motor functions or your own body, what's that then?
Yeah, but zombies aren't doing something for somebody else. They just want to eat brains because they're hungry and bored. No one's making them do it. They're just like, brains.
Fucking hell.
I just think we have very different views on zombies, and my views are really interesting.
Yes. Okay. I was just saying, zombie as a large term there, rather than just the ones you see in the 3 films of zombies that you have seen.
I've seen lots of zombie movies, okay? And if your theory was so interesting, there'd be more movies made about your zombies too. They make movies about my zombies, mate.
I mean, you can't really...
Come back at me!
You can't really market someone tilling a fucking sugar field, can you? High as fuck. I mean...
You told me they made a movie.
Wes Craven made a movie before he started.
How did he market it?
Well, Lou, I'm going to have to watch it now. I should have watched it before this, to be quite honest with you.
It clearly did shit, or he wouldn't have invented Freddy Krueger to try and make up for it.
Fine.
You know what I'm saying makes sense.
Fine.
I love being right.
Well, on that fucking bombshell.
I love it.
And this has been the MO podcast with me, Consummation Ant.
And me, Atreya.
Thanks all very much for joining us. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Pissed off now.
Oh my God.
The MO podcast. The MO podcast. The MO podcast. The MO podcast.